Okay, number two looks rather difficult, and the first thing I'm gonna do is just try to simplify it, and with the hope after I simplify, I'll be able to do something with it. So I need to square that thing, and what do you get? 3x over 4 minus 1. I need to square it, which I'm gonna write down twice, and to be very careful. And let me multiply that out. What do you get? 9x squared, and 4 times 4 is 16. Then I get minus 3x over 4. I'm distributing that across. Now you distribute the minus 1 across, you get minus 3x over 4, and then plus 1. Let me add it together. What do you get? 9x squared over 16. The two internal terms come together as minus 6x over 4, which would be minus 3x over 2. Then what do you get? You get plus 1. So I'm going to write that down now. You get 9x squared over 16 minus 3x over 2 plus 1 is equal to x. All right? Let me get rid of the chicken scratch now. I'm kind of done with this. And some students just do it in their head. And I don't mind doing it in your head. I actually would do it in my head. I wouldn't write it down. I would just do the multiplication in my head. But again, it depends what your skill set is. All right? So someone can say, what are you going to do now? I see the fraction. I'm going to multiply both sides by the LCD. Well, I see two fractions, 16 and 2, and the LCD would be 16. So I'm going to multiply the left side by 16 and the right side by 16. What do you get? 9x squared. And why is that the 16's cancel? Then what do you get? Well, 2 goes into 16 8 times, and 8 times 3 is 24x. Then you get 16. What do you have here? 16x. Now, for a lot of students, these numbers are actually gotten bigger, and they're kind of frightened by that. But the fractions are a little bit frightening too, by the way. What I'm going to do now is take 16x from both sides. What do you get? 9x squared minus 40x. And then you can get plus 16 equals 0. Now, granted, I'm saying trial and error does work nicely, but for a lot of students, it's pointless, right? They look at it, they wouldn't even know where to start, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about the AC rule. And the AC rule, what they're doing is they're taking the 9 and 16, multiplying it together. That's not so bad. You can use calc if you need to, but it's 144. What they need to do is find two numbers that when multiplied together would give you 144. And the same two numbers, when added together, would give you that middle coefficient, which is minus 40. All right? So what I want to do, when I say I want to do it, I want to find out what those numbers are. Now, if I looked at it, I'm going to say, I do know that 9 times 16 would give you 144, but 9 plus 16 is not minus 40. Now, you might say, oh, it's minus 9 and minus 16. Well, it does give you approximately 144, but it doesn't give you the minus 40 there. So then the question becomes, what are you going to do about that? Well, I got to look at this and wonder what to do. And let's take a look at that. It looks pretty tough, doesn't it? But I'm going to start thinking about it. And I'm going to think about some other numbers that multiply together to this. This is 144, by the way. Think about other numbers. And looking at it, let's be careful about this. I'm going to say 36 and 4. Now someone says, where's that coming from? I borrowed a 4 from the 16, and I gave it to the 9. That's where the 36 came from. Now 36 times 4 is 144, but I still don't got the minus 40. So what I'm going to do, I'll put this over here, minus, minus. That's still 144, and the sum would be minus 40. Let me write this down here. So minus 36. It might have taken me some to get there, but I got there. And I can say minus 36 minus 4. Let me get my eraser out. I'm erasing this business over here. I kind of want in my head. And what I want to do is take the internal term, which is minus 40, and divide it into two separate parts. Let me write that down for you. So I'm going to write down 9x squared. I'm going to say minus 36x. Then I'm going to say minus 4x plus 16 equals 0. I'm going to factor by grouping. What comes out from the first two terms? 9x. What do you get? X minus 4. Then minus, what comes out the next two terms? A 4. And what do you get there? X minus 4. I'm looking at that. Does that factor? Yep. X minus 4 and 9x minus 4 equals 0. All right, a long road that, wasn't it? So what I'm going to do now is use a zero product rule. What do I get? Well, x minus 4 equals 0. That's easy. Or 9x minus 4 is equal to 0. First equation, really simple to solve. Add 4 to both sides. The other equation is pretty simple. Add 4 to both sides and divide by 9. Add 4, divide by 9. So I'm going to claim these are my answers. Yes, they can be checked, but I'm going to check it with the key now. I'm encouraging that as well. So we got x equals 4, x equals 4/9. And we're good to go to the next question. Thank you.